Are you looking for the very best tents? In this video we will look at some of the very best tents on the market. Before we get started with our video, we have included links in the description, so make sure you check those out to see which one is in your budget range. Starting at number 1. MSR Hubba 1-Person Backpacking Tent. The Hubba is a popular series of tents from outdoor gear brand MSR, and the one-person version is a perennial favorite among car campers and backpackers alike. Journalist and outdoor gear reviewer Mio McGinn uses the two-person Hubba Solo for the extra space. I used it for my season working in the backcountry in Olympic National Park, and I absolutely adore it. My stuff and I stayed totally dry even when it rained for days straight in the wettest parts of the rainforest. And you can dry pitch it, putting the poles and fly up, and then pitch the tent under the fly so it never gets at all wet, McGinn says. A friend who did a semester of field work in Patagonia in the spring used this tent too and loved it for the same reason. It's not the lightest or most minimal, but if you're going to be spending a decent bit of time in your tent and are looking for something that's a fortress against the elements and that's still light enough to totally reasonably bring into the backcountry, the Hubba is perfect. Editor's note: we've read a few customer reviews mentioning that the Hubba's carbon fiber poles are prone to splintering. None of the experts we've spoken to have encountered this problem, but it is something to be aware of if you do decide to purchase this tent. At number 2. ALPS Mountaineering Lynx 1-Person Tent. The ALPS Mountaineering Lynx is one of the most sold single-person tents on the Strategist, and it comes at an affordable price. This isn't the tent I'd take with me to Mount Everest, writes one Amazon reviewer, but it did survive a harsh 2 weeks in Iceland during rain, wind, and even snow /ice. If I had paid hundreds of dollars, I'd probably give it 4 stars. But it's a solid 5 stars for the money. In fact, cost effectiveness comes up a lot. This thing performs better than any one-person tent I've ever rented or borrowed, says another reviewer, like it should cost around $400. Use the money you save to buy a better sleeping bag or air core because that's where the comfort is at night. At number 3. Coleman Dome Tent for Camping. In a crowded field of two-person tents that cost well over $300, it's hard to beat the Coleman Dome's sub $100 price tag. That's why it's a top-selling tent on the Strategist, with tons of positive customer feedback on Amazon. This tent was rather dashing, reads one of the 28,000 5-star reviews of the Coleman, which comes in a range of sizes accommodating 2 to 6 people. You too can become the envy of your temporary neighbors with the bright, complementary colors and dome shape. Performance-wise, an EDM fan brought it to Michigan's Electric Forest Festival when it was super windy and was raining buckets. Without even treating it with Camp Dry or any sealant, we were bone dry and cozy in this tent for 5 days. Putting the tent up has proven to be a positive experience for many reviewers, with one writing, "If you're looking for strenuous activity in order to fall asleep, you won't find it erecting the tent. I was able to do it myself within 5 minutes, no joke. I checked Guinness World Records and couldn't find anything relating to erecting a tent fast, so I mailed in my submission. Still waiting on hearing back." At number 4. Sierra Designs Clearwing 3-Person Tent. The Clearwing from Sierra Designs is the ideal 3-person tent for weekend warriors and folks who camp a few times a year. Its crosspole expands the interior space, making it feel roomy enough for 3 people, or according to my experience with this tent on a car camping trip to the Jemez Mountains in northern New Mexico, it's perfect for 2 people plus gear. It has 2 doors and 2 vestibules, which are handy spaces for storing things like muddy boots and wet gear. For both backpackers and car campers looking for a more casual night out in the woods, the simple, sub $300 Clearwing is a solid, versatile option. At number 5. Coleman Dark Room Skydome Tent. Reviewers on Amazon love this affordable Coleman tent's trademark, dark room technology, which blocks out a lot of sunlight. That means the tent stays cool and you can sleep in past sunrise. When you sleep in this tent, you think you've entered another dimension, writes one reviewer. Say goodbye to the sun burning your corneas and waking you in a sweat. Another reviewer who loves waking up to the sunrise but whose wife does not, says the tent is dark when sleeping, semi-dark when awaking. Note that it isn't pitch black in there under full daylight but certainly dark enough to offer a respite from the sun if you want.